Over the weekend, on July 13, an assassination attempt was made on the life of the former president Donald Trump. The attempt occurred during a rally in Pennsylvania. The Secret Service eliminated the attacker just seconds after a few shots were fired. The shots wounded the president, 2 more, and killed 1 bystander. The nation of the United States of America now is left with the aftermath, with the question, was this a political target attack or just the act of a lone radical? Among the shots fired, 1 bullet wounded the former president on the right ear. However, some people are asking, was that a real shot? Is that real blood? And even with evidence of coagulated blood, 2 more wounded and 1 person killed, some people are actually suggesting that the former president actually hired a shooter to be 150 yards away and just wound him on the ear. Can you actually believe that? Obviously, there's a lot of theories around this, and some of them, to my view, is just out of logic and ridiculous. What we're going to be looking here is at the real facts and look at what is actually plausible. We're not going to be looking at suggestions such as someone hiring a shooter 150 yards away. So let's look at what evidence we have and what we can conclude about this and who was motivated to do what. While everyone is entitled to their opinion, critical thinking requires that we separate our personal and emotional preference from reality. Let's look at the facts, at the evidence that we have, and come out with theories that are reasonable to explain who did this, what are the motivations, and what's going to come next. Let's start with evidence of what happened before the actual assassination attempt took place. Apparently, there was a group of people who could actually see the shooter climbing the roof with a rifle, and they tried to notify the Secret Service and the security in place. However, the angle of the roof may have made it impossible for the Secret Service and the security in place to actually see the shooter before it was too late. The guy also asked a question: how is it that that roof was not secure and there was no security at that place? If you want to see that video, it's a bit too long for me to share with you guys, but the link for that is on the description below. As I mentioned, the shooter has been killed seconds after the attack, and Secret Service has identified him as Thomas Crook, a 20-year-old from Pennsylvania.
My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. I hate Republicans, I hate Trump, and guess what? You got the wrong guy.
State voter records shows that he was registered as a Republican. This would have been the first year that he was old enough to vote. When Crook was 17, he made a $15 donation to Act Blue, a political action committee that raised money for the left-leaning and for Democrats. So here we have a guy that is registered as a Republican. However, when it comes to his money, he chooses to put his money on the Democratic Party. Now, according to a 2021 Federal Election Commission filing, the donation was earmarked for a progressive turnout project, a national group that rallies Democrats to vote. The group, however, has not immediately responded to the request of Reuters for a comment. Also, the weapon used for the attack actually belonged to his father because he was not old enough to purchase that weapon. In my view, his father is going to be facing some legal problems because his father is responsible for whatever happens to that gun. And that gun was used on attempt assassination to the former president of the United States of America. Let's look at the media reaction. In my view, the media reaction shows 2 things. 1, how divided is America and how corrupt they are. I know you may think that I'm exaggerating by calling them corrupt, but think about it. There has only been 15 attempts to assassinate an American president in the entire history of the country. They have the perfect event. There was an assassination attempt on the president. And what they do on the headlines? They water down the headlines. Look at this. Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at a rally. No, Donald Trump did not fall. There was an attempt on his life. He received a bullet on his head. Also, Donald Trump is not Biden, who managed to break a record of falling 3 times within 10 seconds while trying to get to his plane, or falls from a bicycle, or falls while walking. No, this was an assassination attempt. And they continue to do this. Look at this headline. Trump injured in incident at rally. There was not an incident. Now, they're playing a game. You cannot find this headline. When you click, they change the headline. To me, they change this headline because they received some criticism and they have to increase the seriousness of the headline. And they continue to double down. Video captures what happened at Trump rally that left him injured. As if they do not know what happened. The world is watching. Geopolitically speaking, here from Europe and from the rest of the world, This looks very bad for you, CNN. You are disrespecting the institution of presidency. For better or for worse, Donald Trump is a former president, and watering down these headlines, it does not show any respect for your country or for the institutions that make your country possible. And it's not just that. Someone actually had the audacity to criticize Donald Trump getting up strong after receiving a bullet and saying, fight, fight, fight.
After he was hit, former President Trump got up and said, fight, fight, fight. I think what we're hearing from people is that's not the message that we want to be sending right now. We want to tamp it down.
I'm not sure about you, but I do not know any human being who is prepared to have an approved reaction to a bullet on the head. To me, it would take hours, if not days, for someone to digest what happened. Now, for someone on the left to feel the freedom to criticize Donald Trump after receiving a bullet on his head, to me, that is way too much. There are more details and mistakes that I want to share with you guys. Mistakes from Biden and the Biden administration. Some of those even make them look guilty. But before I share those with you, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. Such attempt against Donald Trump raised some questions. Questions such as, who sent the attacker? Who plotted this? And when it comes to the answers, a few of those answers point to Joe Biden. In my view, Joe Biden made a mistake or a misfortune choice of words when talking about his strategy for the campaign. He actually said at one point that we need to put Donald Trump in the bull's eye, and some people are using that to say that Biden was behind the plot. In my view, this is not enough evidence, it's just a misfortune choice of words. I honestly believe that here, Biden was talking more about let's find some dirt on him and attack him, I don't know, some more legal process, or some things that they could use to attack Donald Trump's morale, but not his life. Other theories do not point directly to Biden, but maybe someone around him who has a personal interest invested on his victory. Maybe someone who sponsors his campaign, someone who needs a deal, or simply another politician on the Democratic Party. Besides those theories, we also have the possibility of an individual or a group of individuals acting independently just because they hate the guts of Donald Trump or they do not want to see Donald Trump elected. To me, when you look at the first glance, everything seems to be that was done by a lone individual or maybe some other friends helping him. However, when you look further, we see there are a few gaps on this theory. After all, even the guy who witnessed the man climb with a rifle says, how is it that a roof that is only 150 yards from Donald Trump does not have any security here? And he also said that he was pointing to the police and Secret Service and they were not paying attention to him. So in my view, that blind spot could not be there by accident. If this was done by Biden administration or the Democrats, to me was the worst possible tactic, was very short-sighted, because the success rate on assassinating an American president is about 25%. And even if they managed to kill Donald Trump, they could not avoid looking guilty. Even if this was an individual not related to the Biden administration, the Biden administration and the Democrats still look guilty. Another reason for this being a big mistake is that I do not see any other candidate that Biden can possibly beat. Remember, a week before this, there was a lot of headlines about his health. Let's say they successfully managed to take Donald Trump out. Do you really think that Biden can win against another candidate if not Donald Trump? In my view, here from Europe, we have the two worst possibilities, Biden and Trump. Now, after this assassination attempt and Donald Trump surviving, I don't think there's any candidate on the Democratic Party that can beat Donald Trump. He became invincible. Now I want to share with you guys this image. It's a very iconic image. I also want to share with you something else, something that I heard from my grandparents when I was a kid. My grandfather taught me that every prophecy on the planet is a self-realizing prophecy. What does that mean? It means that whoever did this, for whatever motive, they were trying to do one thing, make sure that Donald Trump does not win and Biden gets reelected. But of course, they were acting out of fear. And that action out of fear caused them to miss the shot. Donald Trump, within a minute after being shot, have this picture taken from him. I can see this picture being on every newspaper, on t-shirts, on headlines, become memes, because it's very iconic. The man got shot in the head, and a minute later he's there with the American flag on the background. That's what I mean by self-realized prophecy. If you do act out of fear, you end up causing that which you do not want to see happening even faster. The nation is in trouble, and that image made Donald Trump seem like the greatest hero and the solution to this. It makes him look much stronger. They have been attacking him legally on the media and now an assassination attempt. And that image shows the American population that this man is invincible and he's going to be able to solve whatever problem the American population has. It doesn't have to make sense, but emotionally, that's how the population will think. At least that is my thought on this. If you have a different thought, let me know that on the comments below. However, let's look at the other mistakes that the Democrats have made. One big mistake, in my view, is for Biden to take about 2 hours to give a response. I heard about this on the minute that happened, and 5 minutes later, I was already opening rooms on Clubhouse and responding to this. The fact that Biden took 2 hours to respond to this, it looks very bad and makes him look guilty. The other mistake he made was on the words that he chose to speak. He did not speak of the persons who got injured. He did not spoke about the person who died. Also, when asked about was this an assassination attempt, he said he did not have enough facts. Someone gets shot on the ear and you think it's not an assassination attempt? That was, in my view, a huge mistake. Other mistake was Obama. Obama responded before Biden. However, in my view, he did not condemn the act enough. Let's read this. He said, there is absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. Yes, that's one way to condemn, but he could have gone further. And he also did not mention anything about the 2 persons injured and the other person who died. Now, when you compare Biden's response, Obama's response, and the man who got shot on the head response, you can see a drastic difference. Look at this. Donald Trump had the perfect answer in my view. He did not express or talk about himself until later on his message. Look at this. I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all the law enforcement for their rapid response. So the man who got shot in the head is first expressing gratitude. And then he goes and expresses concern to the people injured and the person who died. Only last on the message, he talked about himself, that he got shot in the head, and he also condemns that such thing is happening in this country. To me, I'm not sure if he did this on himself or he has a great assistance, but it's a perfect response, especially when compared to the response from the Democratic parties, Barack Obama and Biden. So that was on the attempt. Let's focus on what can happen in the future. Now, there's a few theories. Some people say that this is it for Biden. Biden cannot compete. They're going to have to find another candidate. In my view, if Biden steps down, it may look guilty. Also, I don't think the Democrat Party can come with any candidate to beat up Donald Trump. To me, this whole incident made Donald Trump invincible, at least for this election. So if I was the Democratic Party, I would just say, listen, we cannot win this campaign. Let's focus on the other one. Keep Biden there because there's no chance for him to win. It's better to have Biden there than to burn another candidate. But let's see what they do. I do not see Biden stepping down. I see him being even more stubborn and continue the campaign. And with this, I finish this video. So please do not forget to like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and above it all, share this video with someone else who can benefit from this.